Hi everybody, my name is Eunice Ndambi.
And I'm Irene. Welcome back to our YouTube channel where we share relatable life stories.
Yeah, and today we are going to speak about graduate school or graduate education and scholarships. So when you talk about graduate education or school, this is education that is beyond undergraduate or bachelor's degree and is more focused, is more advanced, and builds on the uh, skills that were gained during studying the undergraduate degree. And is more, it's also known as the postgraduate studies or postgraduate diploma or degree, and is composed of master's degree and PhD or doctorate degrees. Master's degree, it takes 1.5 years to 2 years, and then for doctorate degree, it takes 3 to 6 years, depending on the country that you are doing the degree.
So these graduate programs can be categorized into three. We have the professional programs, the terminal programs, and the non-terminal ones. The professional programs is where you have short courses that are tailor-made for a various profession. It could take maybe even 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. And I think this is where the postgrad diplomas lie. Then we have the terminal programs, and the terminal programs is where maybe you join a master's program, and like Eunice mentioned, that would last you like 1.5 years to 2 years. And then once you're done, you can decide, I'm done. So you stop it at that. And then if you want, maybe you can get into PhD later or the doctoral programs. Then the non-terminal, it's where you have both the master's and the PhD merged into one, so that once you start the master's, you do it, maybe the program is like 6 to 7 years, and then you begin with the master's, which could be 2 years, and then after that, you proceed to PhD. Like you don't have an option of terminating it like the terminal programs.
For these three categories that Irene has explained, the degrees can either be course-based or thesis-based. And these are mainly when you talk about masters, for instance. Okay, so the course-based masters are more, the course or classes are more dominant or make the larger proportion of the education. And then later, they are concluded by a project that is not supervised. But when you talk about the thesis-based degree, this is a degree that is mainly a greater part, or 50% of the degree is mainly doing research, which is supervised by a supervisor, and some part of it has courses or seminars. For PhDs, there are different ways through which they are programmed. Some PhDs start with courses, or the first year you do classes, you attend classes, you attend teachings, and then the second year you start your research. And during this first year, maybe is the time that you just start developing your proposal. Some other PhDs, you start the PhD with immediately you start your PhD, you start your research. So they are not, courses are not a must to attend, but the other ones, courses are must to attend in order to get credit.
So maybe to elaborate a little bit, we'll give you examples. For instance, when we say course-based, like their PhDs, their master's programs, where you do courses just like you do with a bachelor's degree, like almost the whole period. And then towards the end, you just do a kind of a project. Or you can go for internship. Like for instance, in France, their master's program is 2 years. and it's divided into what they call Master 1 and Master 2. And this one, like, you can do Master 1 in a different institution, in one institution, and decide to go for Master 2 in another institution. And Master 1, it's coursework throughout. Then Master 2, it's half coursework. And then the second half, which is 6 months, you can either go for internship or you work on a project. But in the Netherlands, like the masters that as we did, we had coursework for 1 year. And then after that, you have a research where you start by writing a proposal, and then you do the research and write a thesis, which is actually supervised. So, and also we have another category, like I did my field work for masters in South Africa, the University of Western Cape. And I realized that there, they don't have any coursework at all for masters. So it's research, like their masters is full research. But I think in between bachelors and masters, they have what they call honors. I don't know how long the honors last, but in my understanding, I think I would put the honors in the professional category. Yeah, so I think someone can decide to end it at honors, or I'm not really sure. So if you're South African, please, you can try to clarify this for us. But I'm sure their master's is fully research-based, no coursework at all.
So for PhDs, also we have, like I explained earlier, there are different cases. For instance, my case, my PhD is 4 years. And my first year, because now I'm on my third year, my first year was more of classes. There was no research. It was attending classes and attending seminars. And then from the second year, I started developing my research or proposal. So that is different because I think Irene's PhD, which is 3 years, you started immediately by developing your research proposal, or
no proposal actually, because it's a project. So I dived in, like I didn't have to write a proposal because that had already been done by my supervisors. So I just dived into research directly. And then in the process, I need to take some kind of courses, like they divide them into two, like their professional courses and the disciplinary courses. Professional courses are the ones that, because here it's like they assume if you're doing PhD, you're kind of venturing more into academia. So they will give you professional courses like how to teach in higher education, like preparing you in case you'll be, a professor somewhere in a certain university.
Yeah.
Or also when it comes not to the research aspect, I'm just giving an example. When it comes to the research aspect, they will give you courses maybe on research ethics. There are also courses on maybe public speaking, because you'll be presenting your work in conferences and such. Then for the disciplinary courses, it's where maybe you can take a course that can help you with your research, like directly with your research. For instance, if in my research I feel I need a course on statistics, I can attend a course in statistics. Or maybe you're using a certain software, you feel you can attend a course that can help you. And also for that disciplinary, also there's the conferences, like you have to attend conferences. And now with all this, you get some ECT credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
For my case, the first year we did those courses that were either more of professional, like because my PhD is in urban studies and regional science. So the first year was mainly, we had the core courses whereby these were compulsory, like you had to attend them, about regional development, about urban planning, and then we also had public policy. And now we had other courses that some were basics and others were advanced. For instance, if you want to do a statistical analysis, We had like you learn a basic skills about starter, a software that maybe we were not used to before. Then the advanced course about it. And also we had others like we had several like GIS advanced, but because for me those are some of the things that I did in my masters, I did not choose them, especially the ones that were optional. I chose something that I did not know before. So it was also flexible. You could choose what you want to do, and then you drop whatever you don't want to do, especially based on the direction of research you want to take.
Yeah, here too, like for all those courses that I've mentioned, the professional and the disciplinary, like they have several courses and you don't have to attend them. It's up to you to choose, okay, I feel this would be beneficial for my work, so I'll go for this. For instance, you don't have, okay, some are compulsory, especially the research ethics. That one is compulsory. And maybe public speaking is not compulsory actually. So yeah, you have that option, like you can choose which one you want because there are so many and you only need 60 credits. So when it comes to research, like for some institutions, you have an option to either publish or just write a thesis, whereas for other institutions, you have to publish, like there's no option. So in the Netherlands, I know that you have to publish 3 articles for you to defend three articles for you to defend your thesis. And actually before it was 4, but I think there were some complaints, so they reduced them to 3. And their program is 4 years. The first year you start with the proposal, which they call the qualifiers. Before now, if you can go for fieldwork and whatever. So there you have no option. You have to publish the 3 articles. Here in France, I think they're a bit more lenient because of the language barrier and publishing mostly, especially in science, it's more of English. So for us here, you can either decide to publish or you write a thesis and then you need to have submitted 1 article by the time you are defending your thesis, which I think, yeah, it's much easier, but it has its own advantages and disadvantages that we will talk about later. What about your institution? Must you publish or do you have an option that you can just write a thesis?
In my institution, there are options. You are given 2 options. The first option is either you publish a monograph, which is a complete thesis or dissertation that has chapters. Yeah, so you start with introduction, literature, methodology, then findings and discussion and conclusion. But you can also, you also have an option of publishing at least 3 articles. And these 3 articles will become chapters of your thesis, because at the end of it, you'll have the 3 articles, and then you'll have a general introduction, maybe general methodology, and then a conclusion. But your chapters will be the articles that you've published. So we have an option. You can choose either of the 2. But for me, currently, like what I chose was publishing the articles. I have a collection of published articles.
I think it's actually the same with friends. And why did you decide to publish the articles? Because, okay, I want to make it a little bit clear. Okay, it's clear, but just in case, when she says that, publishing the dissertation, it means, yes, your dissertation will be there and it can also be available online, but it's not published in any journal. But now for these research articles, they are published in the research journals. So why did you decide to go with the option when you publish the journals?
Oh, okay. The main reason, publishing articles also means your work is already published in journals.
Yeah.
just the way you've said. So it gives you, especially if you want um, to use your work later.
Yeah.
And in academia, it is more easy. It is more easy to publish as I continue researching than wait until I have the monograph and then I start developing articles from the monograph, because it becomes harder later. So I think for me it was more easier to do the articles, then they become a collection, because also I realized my objectives, each objective will translate to an article.
Yeah.
And they are related. So instead of having the three objective just in one chapter, I can have the three objective as individual articles, because they are speaking totally different things, but also related.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to go for a collection of articles.
Yeah, I went for the same option to publish the articles for, let's say, two reasons. One, the dissertation, it means it has your input and just your supervisor's input. But with the research articles, they are peer reviewed and all that. So I felt that by writing the research articles, I'll be contributing, to science better than if I just write the dissertation. Then another thing is, if you publish and then maybe in future you decide to venture into academia or into research, you are more prepared, than if you didn't do it. Because so that's why I decided to go with the research.
One of the main reasons that you may consider to do a graduate degree or education is that it exposes you to the protocols of academia. If you really want to go in that direction of your career. So if you want to become a specialist, or if you want to gain advanced skills, or if you want to get more networks, this is a great opportunity to venture into graduate education, either whether it's master's or PhD, because it gives you that opportunity to advance your skills, to also become better specialist in your area of in your field, and it also gives you opportunity to connect with other people that are within that specific field.
So, so a question for you. So we have a fresh graduate here, like undergrad, who did a course that they are struggling to get employment, because in Kenya we have, it's like in most cases you don't end up doing the course that you wanted to do, because hoops or like the placement, the college and university's placement board attends will just place you for any course. And now, since you're struggling to get a job, you decide to do a master's. So let's say this person already has the loans, the HELP loans from the undergrad. Would you advise them to take another loan to do graduate studies in for the same course?
For the same course?
Yes.
Okay, one of the thing I would like to tell someone, don't just do a graduate degree because you are out of or you are under employment. I know it's a good investment.
Yeah.
Doing a graduate degree is a good investment, but is it opening more opportunities, or is it just gaining more knowledge? Because if you're gaining more knowledge, but is gaining knowledge within a field that is already saturated, for instance, or there are no openings, there's no need of just gaining more knowledge to be where you are at that particular moment. So if you are unemployed and you want to do a graduate degree that you want to open your opportunities. I think the best thing about graduate education, it gives you a broader range of opportunities you can do, you can venture in. You don't have to go specific on what you did on your undergraduate. Okay, for my case, I've done for my case, I did undergraduate urban planning, master's urban planning, PhD urban planning. It's not because I think there are opportunities, but that's my passion.
Yeah.
But I think I can still, being an urban planner, I can still work in so many other fields. I don't need to be urban planner specifically for just within maybe the city county urban planning department. There are so many other areas I can work in. So you need to consider that.
Yeah.
The degree that you're working, is it just a narrow degree that will just put you in a specific area that you cannot expand? And if there's no market for that or employment for that, you can choose a different thing that will lead you or will broaden your career direction, so that if you miss in that specific area, you can still get opportunity in another area. So that's what I think. I don't know if it makes
and
more.
I think I agree with you, because you have an option to deviate from what you did if you feel it will not help you. Because in as much as you want to gain knowledge, we also want you don't want to gain knowledge and then you just have it, like you don't get to use it because you don't get an opportunity to use it.
Can we maybe get it in the section below? How many people have their degrees that are just in their shelves and they have never used them? And what you're doing completely now is, like, what you're doing currently is completely different from what you studied. Because I think that's something that our Kenyan system really has failed us. Our Kenyan education system has failed us, because we are really made to think that certain degrees are more, what can I say, they have more power than others. And then you just strain yourself to do a degree that you'll never use. But you are more passionate, even you have more talent, or you have a degree. Like, just do something that you can use. Do something that you can use. Just don't do a degree that you're going to put in a shelf. And if you already have done one that you have put in a shelf and you want to advance, please broaden that field. Like, don't do the same field.
Be open-minded before you apply for the graduate studies. Assume that you've decided to go for graduate studies. Maybe now you're wondering which one should you go for, because we mentioned that there are several categories. And I think this will really depend on why you're going for the graduate studies in the first place. Because if all you want is the papers, like maybe it's a requirement from the employer for you to have masters, maybe so that you can be promoted or you can get a salary increase, then there's no need of going for the more complex stuff, like the thesis based, because research at times isn't easy. Maybe you could opt to go for the course-based option. You do the courses, you'll gain the knowledge, and you'll get your certificate. But if you would like maybe to venture into academia or research, then the thesis-based would be better option for you, because it will give you a better foundation. Maybe if now it's master's, it will give you a better foundation for your PhD and everything thereafter. Because we actually were discussing this right now, and we talk about it again and again. The knowledge we gained during our masters is what is really helping us now, like a lot during the PhD. Like we use it every single day. So think about that. And then the other categories where we talked about the professional, the terminal, and the non-terminal. If you are sure that you want to venture into academia or into research, then I think even going for the non-terminal one isn't a problem. Where you commit yourself for 6 to 7 years, you'll be doing that stuff. Or if you're not so sure, you can just, start with one, do the masters, and then if you want, you can take a break and then come back to PhD. Or you can just do the masters, and if you get opportunities to continue PhD like us, then you can go ahead. But I have to mention this. Don't do a PhD just because you want to get the title doctor. My friend, it can be frustrating. Do the PhD because you really want to, and then in that case, even if you face challenges, like you'll have something to motivate you to keep pushing. Yeah, I think that's the advice I would give. Do you have something to add?
Yeah, just to add just one point. For me, an advice I can give someone, especially when it comes to which program should you choose. I know it depends with specific cases, individual cases, but I would advise someone to go with the terminal graduate degree for me because, first of all, when it comes to the theory and practice in whatever field you are in, there are always some disparities.
Yeah, that's true.
When you, because in the academia world, you learn the theory a lot. There's a lot of theory learning, but once you go to the profession, or once you go to work or get employed, is when you realize the practice is totally different.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm talking from experience because when I did my undergraduate, I worked for 2 years before I joined my master's. And the knowledge I gained from the practice within those 2 years really helped me to be able to do a research that I have the practice in mind when I'm planning to solve an issue that is emerging within my field.
Yeah.
But just connecting, because there are people also who go after your bachelor's or after your undergraduate, you immediately get into the postgraduate degree.
Yeah.
It can bring the disparity, and you even see the difference when it comes to the specific people, like these people who are coming from maybe working and coming to study their masters or their PhD. They usually have a different way of solving issue compared to someone who is just completely new and fresh from the studies. So I would advise someone just to get a year, get to feel what is the practice, what is the practice within my field. And then from there you'll be able also to, because within each field there are different maybe the themes or different sectors where your field is. During this 1 year or 2 year or whichever 6 months, you're able to learn which area do I feel more passionate to solve issues from, which sector do I want to solve. For instance, as a planner, we have sectors like transport, we have housing, we have even water. Like there are so many roads, there are so many sectors you can venture in. So during this time is when you realize I enjoy more working within housing, or I enjoy more working within land uses, I enjoy more working on transport. And then when you're choosing your research, you choose based on that area. So yeah, that's what I'll advise someone. Get to understand the two, practice and theory. Then from there choose to join your postgrad or your graduate education.
Okay. I think that's great advice there. Also, I think there are some professions where, okay, I don't know, I've realized this, like there are some professions where they really don't go for masters and PhD but they
Yeah.
do so many short courses. Now, the one that we call the professional courses. So in that case, I think you have time to decide, okay, I think I need to advance my knowledge in this aspect, and then you do a short course in that aspect and such. And I think it's mostly in business related courses, I've realized that, and also law kind of. They do a
Investment,
lot, yeah. They do a lot of short
insurance,
courses. Yeah. So
accounting.
and the good thing with those courses, they are also available online. So you
Yeah.
can look into them if you want to expand your knowledge in a certain area. So
What's our thought and our take about graduate school or graduate education? And we know, we acknowledge that this is a very broad topic that has so many other things that we have not covered. But if you have a specific questions or a question that you think we have missed and is important to you, just leave it on the comment section below, and we're going to answer it through our monthly Q&A sections, or we can even answer on the comment and continue discussing about graduate degree. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share. You can also follow us on Instagram. We have an Instagram page that is also called Strangely Relatable Channel, and it is at strangely underscore relatable underscore channel. So follow us there and let's continue sharing these stories. And in case you have a topic that you want us to cover, leave it in the comment section below, and we are going to schedule it in our discussions. Thank you. So bye bye.
Bye bye. See you in the next one.
Okay, advice that I would have liked to get when I was venturing in my graduate degree was like, look at what is the trending issues in the market. What are the issues that need to be solved currently? What are the emerging issues? What are the emerging degrees that are coming?